Warning, warning. Some images and language may be found offensive and inappropriate by some people. Parentals may not want you viewing this. If you are under 14 years old, please stop watching now. If you choose to continue and find yourself scarred for life, then it's your own damn fault, not mine. Enjoy. It's time for the Little Funny News on Channel 3, also known as LLB3. Now let's begin.
Good day, viewers. I'm Cleovim, and today's topic is Argentina and the problems with slavery. While slavery is often seen as a terrible thing of the past, it still exists to this day. Argentina is a country in South America. Their population is around 36 million. Most citizens live in the province of Buenos Aires. Let's go to Scotty for more info.
Thank you, Cleovim. Here in Argentina, they have an unemployment rate of 7.8%. Of course, this figure was gathered in 2010, and has probably changed by now. Approximately 30% of the people who live here live below the poverty line. With this many people and the economy so poor, people have resorted to using slave labor to put more money in their pockets. The most widely used and abused are children. You see, folks, Argentina produces 11 products which use slave labor, each of which uses children as young as 5. These kids work from sunrise to sunset. These kids miss 3 to 4 months of school a year. Some kids aren't even registered in schools. Kids forced to pick blueberries and strawberries are required to pick up at least 20 kilos per day. Keep in mind, people, that 20 kilos is roughly about 40 pounds. And get this, they give an award to the best small harvester each year. In 2007, a 5-year-old girl won it. We currently do not have any intel as to what this prize consists of, or if the supposed winners even received this prize. However, it seems to me that they're just trying to make this form of child slavery seem okay. Children who are made to plant and harvest garlic are required to use dangerous tools and are exposed to pesticides, which puts them at great risk for permanent health damage. Children who work in the tobacco fields in the Northwest risk direct contact with dangerous pesticides. In 2006, it was estimated that 20,000 kids, 20,000, did some work in the tobacco industry in the province of Misiones. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce anything today. Alone. Listen, I got to go now. I'll catch up with you guys in a few minutes. Bye.
It's time for a hard hit.
Hi, y'all. I'm Rachel with the hard hit for today. Argentina is famous for its wine industry. But what is rarely known is that children as young as 7 are forced to use sharp, dangerous tools to tend and pick the grapes that make this wine. Children from ages 6 to 17 in rural provinces of Posadas, sorry, I can't pronounce anything, work in fields growing yerba. Yerba is a plant often used in teas and alcoholic beverages. These kids are unable to attend school due to the long hours that they spend doing this job. They are known to be at higher risk of sexual and physical abuse by the adults who work in the field alongside them. We'll now return to Scotty. What have you got for us this time, Scotty boy?
Wow, you certainly sound ticked off, Rachel. And I got a lot of facts that'll blow your mind. Children who cultivate tomatoes often suffer from prolonged exposure to chemicals used to grow them. They will often develop dermatological and gastronomical problems, respiratory conditions, and progressive deterioration of health over time. Children also are forced to work in cotton. According to our sources, 100 kilos earns a child 10 pesos. Please note that 10 pesos equals $2.32 in United States dollars. We interviewed a young boy who works in the cotton industry, and he had this to say to him. Boys and girls who are younger than 6 work in the brick industry in hazardous working conditions. They are forced to use tools and products that can cause injuries and force them into awkward working postures that could hinder their growth. They are exposed to high temperatures, smoke, and fire. They are forced to work barefooted and without any protections on their hands. That means no gloves, people. This results in children having burns, lesions, and cuts all over their body. Well, that's all we have on the child labor situation so far. Here's Josh with reports on the sweatshops. Thank you, Scotty. Here in Argentina, people migrate here from other countries all the time. Fake employers create very realistic job ads in papers. They promise their victims better pay and an all-around better life. Once they get inside the Argentina borders, however, their employers confiscate their identification and passports. Most of these victims are trafficked from Bolivia and other poor countries. The victims and their families often become slaves in textile industries and in sweatshops. In 2005, investigators were aware of 40 garment sweatshops in the Parque Avenida neighborhood of Buenos Aires. Families were found trapped in small rooms and being paid a fraction of what they were promised. When we asked their bosses, or supposed bosses really, about this, they had this to reply.
I was looking after my workers' money so that they couldn't spend it on something stupid.
Okay. Is it just me, or does that sound like the worst excuse ever? In 2004, the average monthly wages were as follows. People with academic degrees made $813 in Argentinian money. People with high school diplomas made $539 Argentinian dollars. People who had not completed high school made $388 Argentinian dollars. People who had completed primary school made around $353 Argentinian dollars. People who had not completed primary school made around $279 Argentinian dollars. I think it should be known that the slaves of the country probably weren't taken into account when this was made. That is it for me. We now need a Cleovim for the dirt on such an uncomfortable subject. Sex trafficking. Cleovim, what have you...
I think you got cut off there, Josh. I'm here. Rachel is also joining me here to help. Yep, I'm actually quite appalled by this. Apparently, during the time of the World Wars, immigrants came from Europe. Many of them Jewish, trying to escape prosecution. Damn Nazis. However, Argentina is a mainly Catholic country. Due to the inflexible religious laws and economic depression, many of the Jewish women were pushed into prostitution by their own families. That's actually how most of the slaves in Argentina became slaves. Their family pushed them into it. Those who are lured in by strangers are usually kidnapped from other countries. Women are lured in by job opportunities. Children are just simply kidnapped. We have confirmed reports that there is a growing demand for young girls in the prostitution rings. Some of them as young as 8 to 16 years old. Even young boys and adolescent men are being targeted for kidnapping. The same facts apply to the sex tourism as well. Ew, disgusting! How on earth who on earth would want to go to a country to have sex with someone they don't even know? I don't know. Apparently some sickos find pleasure in coming to a country and having sex with the supposed local residents. That's gross and creepy. Yep, resources have also confirmed that citizens from the Dominicans, I can't read anything, are more likely to be lured in and abducted by traffickers. Okay, now I'm just getting pissed off here. Let's go to Josh. I hear he has info on what the Argentinian government is doing to stop the slavery issue of their country. It had better be good.
I do have some information on that, Rachel, so please don't be mad. According to a National geographic map, Argentina has less than 5,000 slaves. That's a lot of people, though. I also found out that the average life expectancy is 76 years for men and 73 for women. According to a government policy, all employers are required to have a contract with their employee no matter what. However, it seems that hardly anyone does this. The government only allows people to work a maximum of 8 hours per day and 48 hours per week. A worker cannot work more than 44 hours for day shift work, 42 hours per week for night shift, or 36 hours per week if the job is performed in a hazardous or unhealthy environment. It is also not normally permitted on Saturday, afternoon, and Sunday, even though the authorities do make exceptions depending on the occupation. So in other words, people really aren't supposed to be working on Saturday and Sunday, but the cops let them do it anyway. According to the LCT, which stands for Lei de Contrato Trabalho, the translated as the Law of Contract Employment, is a law that regulates the employment contracts, rights, employer and employee obligations, and wage protection. As of September 2005, 4.8 million citizens were not formally registered by their employers. There is also a law in place that forbids anyone to employ women between a period of 45 days before and 45 days after birth. If someone is caught trafficking, they would spend up to 3 to 5 years in jail sentences. Nowadays, the airport security actually interviews anyone who enters their country. They hold these interviews with the hope of identifying trafficking victims and catching traffickers before any real damage is done. They have even increased their inspections of migrants' living and working conditions. Once victims are identified, the government sends them to public shelters run by local NGOs. NGOs stands for non-governmental organizations or religious orders. In order to raise public awareness, the teachers and the ministers use films, leaflets, which are pamphlets, and workshops at school. However, the penal code does not specifically prohibit child sex tourism, which is freaking gross, and the government has not yet prosecuted any child sex tourists. Again, gross and weird.
Why the hell not?
I don't know.
Let's not forget that there are many ways to stop slavery, people. Yeah, it's called beat the shit out of the traffickers who are putting people into slavery with a baseball bat.
I'm all in favor of that plan.
You two just like to beat people up.
They deserve it.
Deserve it or not, there are still other ways, Scotty, such as raising public awareness of modern-day slavery.
Like talking to people about it, or cartoons like this one, which informs them.
The cartoon thing I agree with. That always seems to teach kids a little bit about something. Yep, or passing out pamphlets with the information.
You can also do one of those walk petition things to raise awareness as well. There are tons of things you can do to raise awareness. You just have to be creative.
That's it for LLP3 News. Join us next time. Have a great day.